6:51, your top stories you need to know before you head out this Thursday in our Smart Start and some breaking updates. Deputies this morning are still trying to find a suspect after a chase ended with a crash in Rochester. This began around 11:30 in Henrietta. Deputies were trying to stop a driver in a stolen car linked to a crime. The driver kept going through Brighton and ended up crashing into multiple parked cars here in the city at Buena Place and Alexander Street. The suspect then kept on going as authorities lost track of them. No one was injured during that pursuit and that chain reaction crash. A driver responsible for a police chase that left several people hurt, including a police officer last summer, is going to be sentenced today. This happened in May on Scioto Street. Officers tried to stop a vehicle. RPD says Kyrell Johnson took off, dragging an officer during the escape. That officer was not seriously injured. The chase lasted about 15 minutes when Johnson crashed into two other cars at Thurston Road and Arnett Boulevard. 3 people were taken to the hospital that day for an evaluation. A handgun recovered at the scene. Johnson went on to plead guilty in October to reckless endangerment. That sentencing is at 9:30.
How do I get help? Where do I get help?
Homeowners and renters all throughout the region waking up to another day of cleaning up following the flooding we have seen. You just heard from a family in Livingston County. Now, for the last 25 years, every time it downpours, that property floods. And this is not just a little water in the yard, it's a ton. Michael and Harold Falls property sits between Harold Road and 5 and 20 in Lima, on a plot of land that is lower in elevation. Because of that, the town put in more storm drainage piping below Harold to handle the flow of water. But the lack of the drainage system under 5 and 20 causes everything to build up in their yard and flood their home, 3 to 5 feet in the basement at times. And over the years, it has destroyed a lot of sentimental belongings, including items from when Michael served in the Army.
All that stuff is down there. All my important paperwork. They were in safes down there, and they've been ruined. The town doesn't think it's a problem. It's a county problem, so we call the county DOT. And the county says, oh, it's not our problem, it's a state problem. So we call the state. And the state says there's nothing we can do, and it's not our problem, it's a county problem.
We did hear back from the DOT, which runs 5 and 20. It tells news aides aware of the drainage concerns and will be investigating. We also reached out to the Lima Town Supervisor for comment. We'll let you know when we get that interview or a follow-up statement. Your sunrise traffic here 7 minutes to go until 7. Not nearly as much flooding on a lot of the roads here this morning. You're there from our Greater Rock Sky Eye, looking interesting on this Thursday. We have the forecast with James momentarily. We have one accident listed in Irondequoit. That is over at Culver Road and Ridge Road. We do keep checking your morning commute if you're hanging out a bit longer during CBS Mornings when we see you every half hour. To the key takeaways from President Trump's speech to the nation in prime time about the war with Iran. The president expects this conflict to end in the next few weeks and warns if Iran does not reach an agreement to end the conflict, the military is going to hit Iran's electric generating plants and target its oil industry. Right now, the crew of Artemis 2 is orbiting Earth after this, lifting off last night on what is a 10-day mission to the moon and back. 3 Americans, 1 Canadian astronaut on board. They're going to travel a record 252,000 miles from Earth. First up for the crew, an intense day 1 of testing multiple spacecraft systems, going on just 4 hours of sleep scheduled. The crew will get an unprecedented view of the far side of the moon and set the record for the farthest distance ever traveled from here on Earth. The mission is a critical first step in getting astronauts back to the surface of the moon. That may happen in 2028 when they'll eventually build a permanent moon base.
We'll keep gathering data over the next 10 days. We'll share updates, but we'll call success when they're in the water safely.
NASA says the crew, first up, had to work on fixing a toilet problem aboard the spacecraft overnight. Today, NASA managers will meet to decide whether to give the crew the green light to leave the orbit of Earth and then start their 4-day journey to the moon, going around and coming back. Passover is underway, one of the most important holidays of the year in the Jewish faith. It marks the moment of the exodus of the Jewish people from slavery and oppression in ancient Egypt. It ends at nightfall coming up next Thursday. There's a Seder tonight at Kessler Family Chabad on Winton Road. You can register to learn more about Passover and the preparations at ChabadRochester.com. Temple Bethel also having its annual second Seder. That is from 6 to 8. Final forecast here before before everyone heads out on this Thursday, James?
We've got clouds around, a little bit of a sunrise off in the distance over Sodus, but otherwise temperature is getting into the 50s. 70s tomorrow for you, maybe even some spots mid-70s. Stray shower breezy there as well, and then cold blasts coming in late Saturday, and then going into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Let's just get through that before we finally can tap into some warmer spring weather.
What a way to bounce down after spring break. We'll see you at 9 o'clock for our podcast, Second Cup of Sunrise on the Rochester First streaming app. CBS Mornings on the way at 7.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, X, and on our app for news and weather. Get the Rochester First streaming app today for everything you love from News 8 on demand. Plus exclusive shows you won't see anywhere else. Search ROC and download for free on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.